All right, time for class, everyone. Okay. Wow, it's so amazing to get here again. So happy to be here with all of you, and got the opportunity to speak to one of you yesterday, and just it's nice to connect. I don't get to see you anymore for now, but we will have our day again. All right, let's start with Om and Shanti, using mantra as a way to clear our minds. Close the eyes, inhale a breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Today we're going to chant a very special mantra. It's known as the Liberation Mantra. It's on page 4 of the chant books if you have it. It's number 11. In Sanskrit, it's Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sungandim Pushtivardhanam Orva Rukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshi Amamritat. The translation is, we worship the Supreme Light, the Absolute Shiva, who has 3 eyes, who is fragrant, and nourishes all beings. This light is the expression and communication of our life. It is our physical, mental, and spiritual radiation and prosperity. Kindly release us from all calamities, bondage, and suffering, just as a cucumber is released from its stalk without any injury. May our minds be absorbed into Shiva, Amritam, the ocean of tranquility. And what makes this so special is it has a feature of really offering up your best self to someone you know who could benefit from it, right? Who's suffering. And so I'm going to think of my stepmom, Stacy, in New York City. I want to offer this up to her. So what I'll do is, while I'm getting ready to sing, I just get all that power and heat in my hands, and then I broadcast out, and I could say her name aloud, Stacy, or I could say it to myself silently. Okay, so I'm going to sing it one time together. While I'm doing that, you can continually rub your hands, get some of your power, your energy together, and then we'll sing it together a few times, okay? Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sungandim Pushtivardhanam Orva Rukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita Swaha. Swaha is giving up to God, and then say the name of the person, let it go, and we'll sing together. Stacy. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sungandim Pushtivardhanam Orva Rukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita Swaha. One more time, Stacy. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sungandim Pushtivardhanam Orva Rukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita Swaha. One of the tools that Sharon and David give us is this ability to see others as holy beings. And in order to do that, you have to get outside of yourself. You have to get out of your small self. I'm going to read a little bit from this month's focus on spiritual activism. Sharon writes, view everyone as providing you with opportunities to be kind and articulate empathy and compassion for other beings. See whomever you speak to as a holy being. Do not see anyone as mean, stupid, or compassionless, or as a person who needs you to enlighten him or her. If you can't see people you speak to as compassionate, how can you ever expect them to see themselves that way? Before you speak to someone, ask yourself, how do I want this person to feel about himself or herself? Do you have the largeness of heart to see that person's highest potential? For that to occur, you must be willing to give up any negative thoughts about him or her in order to provide a space for the person to turn around in. Keep in mind that when you are speaking to others, they can always feel your underlying contempt or respect for them, and that will determine whether they are able to hear your message. What is your goal in speaking to them? Is it to vent your anger, bully them, assert your superiority, berate, and make them feel guilty? Or do you really want to empower them, to change for the better, and to become the kind person who doesn't want to cause animals to suffer? If you really want them to stop eating meat, you must see them the potential to do that, and you must speak to that potential. And right before this section, there was a whole story about a woman who was giving a lecture on veganism, but she had already written off the group she was speaking to. The biggest misconception about activism is the thought that hate and anger are more powerful motivators than love and acceptance. When you think the world is out there coming at you and you have to fight back, you are engaged in war, and war never brings peace and cannot activate the inner force of love within you. To separate the world into vegans and meat eaters, good guys and bad guys, or victims and perpetrators, will result only in more division, not the peaceful unification we say we seek. To think well of another and to want that person's happiness, even though you do not agree with that person's current thoughts and actions, is the key to spiritual activism. When you engage in conversation with others who may not agree with your point of view, be sure that you are coming from a place of tolerance yourself. I try to treat whomever I meet as an old friend, says the Dalai Lama. This gives me a genuine feeling of happiness. This is the practice of compassion. A truly compassionate attitude towards others does not change, even if they are behaving negatively. And from a Harvard professor, Arthur C. Brooks, when you feel contempt for another person, practice warm-heartedness towards them. Dr. Martin Luther King put it this way: you have no moral grounding with someone who can feel your underlying contempt for them. So Sharon always is just such an amazing writer. She's very articulate, and she's so helpful. Today we're going to look at one of the Bhagavad Gita verses. It's from the 6th chapter. It's the 29th verse. And Krishna says, through the practice of yoga, the yogi sees the divine self in all beings at all times. So it comes from the chapter on meditation. And what he's talking about is equanimity of mind. You're able to get to a place where you're not just thinking all the time. You're not caught up in the chitta vrittis of the mind, right? Instead, there's a moment of peace within the thought. And it's important to locate that part of yourself. It's important to notice when you've had that experience in your life. And I was just thinking of a couple of incidents with my children. Now, when my son, he just turned 16 last week, but when he was little, he was on fire. This kid had so much energy. He just was so action-filled. And when he was like maybe a year and a half, my wife sometimes would go and work for the day, and I'd have him before I had to go to work. And to get him down for a nap seemed impossible some days. He was just so agitated and crying and fussing. And I remember one day I was sitting in we had this kind of 3 sets of windows. We lived on 24th Street in Noida. It was a really beautiful place with a rocking chair I'd put there. And I tried to rock him to sleep there. And I remember I was just so uncomfortable. He was so upset. And I was singing him some Smith songs, so it seemed to kind of put him into a sleep. And he finally fell asleep after all this agitation. And I remember, to that point, I was so upset myself. I was so tired. I was just not having it. And then when he fell asleep, it was like the enlightened moment. I was so peaceful. I was so grateful that he had finally found some rest. I was so thankful there was finally some quiet, right? And it was like whatever happened before that moment didn't even exist. It didn't matter. And those are the moments that we have to put into our memory banks. We have to remember that we have moments of complete peace, complete silence, where the mind is not thinking, it's not connected to the small self. Instead, it's kind of having this outer experience. Okay, so other situation was with my daughter, probably about the same age. So at this point, the 1 year they were in school together was when she was in kindergarten and he was in 5th grade. Or was it? No, it was when she was in 1st grade and he was in, oh yeah, it was kindergarten and 5th, that's right. And I would have to go to school, pick them both up and bring them to the park. And on this one particular day, I had so much to do. I had this big event. I was, a lot of people know I'm a chef. I was cooking this big party. I had a lot to do, and I was just in my mind worried about self. And I was in the park, in this beautiful park in the Mission called Presida Park. And it's like big sky all around. It was a beautiful, perfect day, and I was pushing this beautiful little girl on the swing. And all of a sudden, I had that same moment. It's like I didn't care about the work. I didn't care about the job. I didn't care about the pressure. What I was more concerned was being in the moment with this precious, holy being in front of me. Just so full of light and love. It was like everything else just fell away. I could be in the moment. I could be in that experience. And what happens when we experience those moments of enlightenment, we begin to see others around us in the same light. Begin to see people through the lens of love, through compassion. Or even their shortcomings kind of fall away and we just see what's left standing in its place, which is an incredibly beautiful, radiant, holy being. And I know right now it's difficult to see that sometimes. I was driving home from work yesterday and I couldn't believe how many people were out, in crowds, in close proximity, without masks. It was like the list started going in my mind. And I had to remember this idea of seeing them as doing the best they can in that moment. That they think they're taking care of themselves. They think they are trying to do what's best for themselves and others. And I have to let all the judgment slip away. Because again, if I can't see them that way, how can they see themselves that way? It's a really important lesson. The last thing I'll say is, if you find yourself in a situation anytime in the future where you see others in front of you, try to see what you have in common with them. Try to see what beautiful qualities you have that they have as well. Right? Don't start the mind in the whirlings of what's different. This is all that Krishna is trying to teach Arjuna. It's like how to have the vision of yoga. So remember the liberation mantra. I'm so excited we have an hour and 15 minutes together now. It gives me a little more time to teach the asana. It feels like we can really get into the 14 points of Jivamukti yoga and not miss anything. So that's my talk. I did talk to Erica yesterday and she said she really appreciated the talks in the beginning. And I'll just say that when I was a new student to Jivamukti yoga, it's exactly what I loved about it. I loved that we had a spiritual focus, a theme, something that we weaved through the class, that we could think about. There were books to study. So I just am giving to you what my teachers have given to me. So let's start here. Get your mat and things in place, ready for you, props. We're going to come to the front of the mat and bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. And you can continue. Think of the same person you thought of in the beginning of class and offer up your practice to them. You could even add an additional person. All right, so I'm going to think of my dad as well because he lives with Stacy in New York City. I love them both and I want them to be experiencing the spiritual beings that they are today. I want to feel their enlightened selves today. Even if it's just for a moment. Pause and thought about self instead of a moment of thinking about the higher self. And once you've given your dedication, you're going to begin your Ujjayi breathing. Audible breath sounds like the ocean in the back of the throat. Begin to match the inhale to the exhale. And on your exhale, you're going to release the arms down, and we're going to start with Sun Salutation A. Oh, I also want to say that Erica reminded me, because I really missed the music you played in class, and for whatever reason on Twitch, I'm not allowed to play music now. So you can download any of the playlists on Spotify. I made a lot of them in the last year, and they're up there now. I'm going to start contributing some new ones. But you can always press play now. It's through the Nandi Spotify link. You can find Jeremy dash 1969 is my name on that. Okay. All right, exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, hook the thumbs, bring the hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees. Interlace your hands behind and draw your arms long. Inhale, place your hands down. Step back with your right foot into lunge, look up. Exhale, your left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. And then through bent knees, push your seat to your heels. Come back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward into lunge. Look up. Exhale, left foot meets the right, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, hook your thumbs. Bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees. Interlace your hands behind, draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, left foot steps back, look up. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, bend the elbows a little bit or a lot, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Through bent knees, push your seat to your heels. Come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward into lunge. Exhale, right foot meets the left, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, hook your thumbs. Bring your hands forward and overhead. Arch back. Exhale, release your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Close the eyes. Pause in action. Have a moment of consciousness, right? A moment of other awareness. Not so self-aware, but be able to see others in a different way. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale. Exhale, release your arms down. Again, inhale, hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees. Interlace your hands behind, draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, right foot steps back. Into lunge, look up. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, keep the elbows close to the body, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Through bent knees, push your seat to your heels. Come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward into lunge, look up. Exhale, left foot meets the right, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, hook your thumbs. Bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees. Interlace your hands behind, draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, left foot steps back, look up. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward into lunge, look up. Exhale, right foot meets the left, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly. Hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, release your hands to prayer. Again, this ability to pause in action, to take a moment and take the seat of that inner seer, that inner witness, that higher self. And then you're just watching, you're observing, you're witnessing that which is in front of you as beautiful, as radiant, as holy. That little girl Gloria on the swing, so beautiful that moment. Why worry about work? Right? On the exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, bend your knees, deeply lift the prayer up, Utkatasana. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, slowly lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left heel down, lift the prayer overhead, first warrior pose. On the exhale, open the arms wide, second warrior pose. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower in Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down, lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. On the exhale, open the arms wide, warrior two. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or again. Inhale, right foot forward, left heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. On the exhale, open the arms wide, warrior two. Inhale, place hands down, step back, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. On the exhale, open the arms wide, warrior two. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Hold and breathe here. For those of you who have been downward facing dog, you might want to take child's pose for a few breaths. Just bring your forehead down, seat to your heels. Hold and breathe wherever you are. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale. Exhale, two. Look for a steady gaze to slow the thinking mind down for three. Inhale. Exhale, four. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump between your hands, come to a flat back and look up. Exhale, folding forward. And then inhale, bend your knees, deeply lift the prayer up. Exhale, straighten your legs, hands to prayer. And one of the things that Sharon says a lot is, the way that we treat people is going to be the way that people treat us. Now, people treat us is going to inform how we see ourselves, and I think the same is to how we speak to others, how we treat others, how we listen to others. What's the underlying feeling there? She said they can sense that. They can sense what's going on underneath when we're listening or thinking, right? The face is has a lot of expression. So come from a place of patience, a place where there's some quietness, where you can really be present, right? Be conscious. Breathing in. Exhale, release your arms down. On your next inhale, you're going to bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up. And you're going to exhale, dive forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, slowly lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. We're going to hold here. In Jivamukti, it comes from a long tradition of asana. And one of the reasons in warrior we press palms together is because it's a mudra, right? We're actually creating a prayer. And then you lift the prayer to the appropriate gaze place. If you want to keep hands separated, just know why we bring hands to prayer. It's part of the devotional feature here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. From here, you're going to inhale, straighten your right leg. Just going to change position of your feet, and we're going to switch sides, warrior one. Exhale, bend the left knee. Again, take a moment, make an adjustment. Find a place where you feel steady. Again, if you want to create the devotional quality, hands to prayer. Bring the gaze to the thumbs, just beyond the thumbs. Inhale and exhale. Keep the back leg strong. Inhale. Exhale, two. Inhale. Exhale, three. Please, Lord, bless me with divine vision. Right? I'm reaching up for four. Inhale. Exhale, open the arms wide, second warrior pose. Now for second warrior pose, you might have a little shorter of a stance. You might want to step the feet a little bit further apart so you can really stretch out in both directions. Try to relax the shoulders. Try to bring the knee over the ankle. Keep the front thigh parallel. And then complete the pose with your gaze beyond the middle finger. Inhale a breath. Exhale the air out. From here, you can inhale, straighten the left leg. We're going to switch position of the feet now for second warrior on the right side. Exhale, bend your right knee. Again, take a moment, make sure the legs are far enough apart. Bend the front knee a little bit more, relax the shoulders, lift the chest, and then bring in your gaze over the middle finger. Inhale. Inhale a breath here. Exhale the air out. Inhale, step or jump to the front of the mat. Hands to prayer. Take a moment here, breathing in and breathing out. You know, we were listening to some music this morning and one of Sherritt's songs came up, one of the audio letter songs, and Amanda said, she goes, whatever makes us think of our teacher is really good, right? I was like, yeah, isn't that amazing? I mean, in Sharon's case, she's written books, she's made music, she's made cookbooks. I mean, there's so many ways that she's made herself available for us to find her. And when I think of her, that opens up that divine vision for me. I can really begin to see all the things that she's been teaching me over the years and begin to apply them to those that I see around me. Really powerful. On the exhale, release your arms down. On your next inhale, you're going to step or jump wide to your right. You're going to turn your right toes towards the back wall. Left toes in. Inhale the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, reach forward and down for triangle pose. Lightly place your right hand down as you extend the left arm up. Again, think of the straight legs as the foundation. Placement of the feet. And then reach up through the left side. Gaze to the hand above or something not moving. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, bring the left arm up and over the ear. Reach on the diagonal. 3 more breaths. Optional, right arm parallel to your left. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, bring the left arm up. Exhale, come all the way up. This picture here is a picture of Sharon, and it makes me think of her when I see it, but also of Ruth Lauer Manente, because she is the artist that took the picture. So I get to think of 2 teachers at once. It's amazing. Left toes forward, right toes in. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, reach forward and down. Again, find the emphasis in the base of the pose, standing legs, placement of the feet. Lightly place the left hand down, extend the right arm up, and then bring your gaze to the hand above or something not moving. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, extend the top arm up and over the ear. Reach on the diagonal. 3 more breaths. Optional, left arm parallel to the right. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, release the left arm down, right arm up. Inhale, come all the way up. And then you're going to step or jump to the front of the mat. Hands to prayer. Pause here for a breath. Think of pausing an action as a practice. You can pretty much do it anywhere, just to kind of erase the mind, kind of reset. Maybe think of a prayer, think of a teacher, think of something devotional, something that will raise your consciousness. Getting out of that small ego-centered self, getting out of the mundane. And then when you're ready from here, we're going to come to tree pose. So I want you to first choose something for your gaze. I'm going to find a tree outside, right? That's always helpful for me in this pose. Since I'm by a window, there's a beautiful tree right outside here. And I'm going to draw my right knee to my chest, give it a squeeze in. And release the right knee up to the side and place my right foot firmly to the inner left thigh. Tuck the tailbone in, move the hips forward, relax the shoulders. And you have an option to stay here, or you could inhale, straighten the arms alongside the ears. And then option to stay here, coming into your bending tree. Release your right hand past your right knee. Inhale, reach long through the left side. Exhale, begin to bend towards the right side. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, come up. You can bring the hands back to prayer. Release the right knee forward. Release the right foot to the floor. Give everything a little shake out. Right. And then we'll try the other side. Again, find your gaze place. Just for demonstration, I'll look forward this time, but you can keep your gaze on your tree. Left knee comes up. Give it a squeeze in. Release the left knee out to the side. Place the foot firmly to the inner right thigh. Again, tuck the tailbone in. Move the hips forward as you find your hands in prayer in front of your heart. Lift the chest, lift the chin. And then option is stay here. Bring the arms alongside the ears. Reach up and reach down. If you're coming into bending tree, release your left hand past your left knee. Inhale, reach long to the right side. And then exhale, begin to bend towards the left side. Keep the meditative mood throughout. Even if you're going to fall off of one leg, that's fine. Just keep the same commitment to the mood, the gaze, the breathing. Inhale, bring the hands back to prayer overhead. Release the hands to prayer in front of your heart. Bring your left knee forward, release the foot to the floor, and give everything a little shake out. And then come to the front of the mat, step or jump your feet together. Hands to prayer. Pausing in action, putting value in that practice, right? The chapter on the yoga of meditation is all about equanimity of mind. Right? It's about beginning to let go of small self things and begin to move towards higher self things. And it's a practice, right? Okay, on your next inhale. Now, I always take a little sip of my tea while I'm teaching because I'm talking so much. But it said as students, you should wait till after practice because we're trying to lift energy up. When you drink something, it brings the energy down. So save water drinking for after class. All right, inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up, Utkatasana. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back and look up. Hold on 1 second. Hey Jackson, you got to keep it down in here, my man. Thank you. Sorry about the interruption. All right, let's begin again. Exhale, release the arms down. Part of being at home, right? Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up, awkward pose. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Keeping your left heel turned up, step your right foot forward between your hands into lunge. Lift the arms alongside the ears. And then take a moment here. Find your lunge pose. Look for that meditative mood. Try to lift everything up as you bend the front knee and push the back heel away. Try to relax the shoulders. And we'll come into a twist from here. Inhale a breath. Exhale, twist to the right side. If you want to bring your left knee to the floor, that's always a good place to start from. You can create the bind elbow to knee. You can bring hand to the floor on the outside of the right foot. Extend the right arm up or come into your full bind. And then look for your gaze. Place could be hand above or something not moving. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist, breathing on your own. Then place your hands down. Step back, slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. And you're going to bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump between your hands. Come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up. Exhale, straighten your legs. Hands to prayer. Pause in action. Pause for a moment, get out of that small self, that kind of limited view, and then open your mind up to that higher self, which is unlimited view, right? Think of that lens of compassion. It's achievable. Let's try the other side. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Keeping your right heel turned up. Step your left foot forward into lunge. You're going to lift the arms alongside the ears. Again, take a moment here. Find your stable, steady base. And then lift everything up. Try to relax shoulders, relax the forehead, relax the toes. Getting ready for the twist, inhale a breath. Exhale, twist to the left this time. If you want to bring your back knee to the floor, that's a good option. You can take the variation of hand on the outside of the left foot to the floor. Extend the left arm up or come into your full bind. Hold and breathe here. And inhale, place your hands down. Step back, slowly lower. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Option is stay here, go through the vinyasa, or come straight to child's pose. After your vinyasa, come to child's pose. And then we're going to come up. So we're going to work on a little handstand practice next. If you want to go to a wall, you can. If you've come to class and you've done the half handstand, that's always an option. I'm just going to practice in the center of the mat, and you can do these options as well. So you're going to first come to a downward facing dog. And the first option for a handstand preparation is just to lift one leg up. That could be the whole practice this morning. If you want to step the left foot in a little bit closer, just going to begin to spring up a little bit. You can practice hopping an inch or two off the floor. And if you want it and you choose to come all the way up, make sure there's no props around you that you're going to fall on if you lose your balance. You're going to inhale, come up to your handstand practice. Right? Breathing practice, wherever you are. Just find the pose and breathe. After you get about 5 breaths, it's important to let go of the action. Don't get the ego caught up in either direction, in either negative or positive. Just let it go. No judgment, all right? It's just offering up to Stacy, right? That's what my practice is about. And to my Father. All right. All right, let's try a second time. So just in case you confused that first side and you thought it was all about you, let go of that. Offer it up to who you thought at the beginning of class. Come up a second time. You can lift the opposite leg. You can hop up on the opposite leg or come all the way up. Yeah, the wall's right there. Look at that. I don't use the wall that much, so I'm kind of surprised that the wall was right there. And again, after 5 breaths, again, offer up the action. Let it go. Make it not about you, but more to assist you in your vision, seeing others through the compassionate lens. You know, when the Dalai Lama saying, he said, he sees others as like an old friend. And I thought of also like if it's someone that you have strong disagreement with, what if you just saw it as an old friend that you really loved who was a sick friend, right? And then how would you treat that sick friend? You would be lovely with them. You would treat them well. You would be kind to them. You wouldn't be mean to them just because they were sick, right? You'd want to support them to maybe open up their mind, their vision. All right, from here we're going to work on our tripod headstand practice. So if you want to work on your regular traditional half headstand, that's an option. Or full headstand, you can come into that. For tripod, place your hands about shoulder distance apart. If you're confused where the top of your head is, just grab the tops of your ears, draw a line to the top, and just come forward about an inch. It's about the top of the head we want to find on the floor. Okay, so hands shoulder distance apart. Bring the head far enough forward that you're finding a 90-degree angle in the arms. Don't confuse and bring hands too close. It will be less supportive. Okay, you're going to tuck the toes under, straighten the legs. From here, bring inner elbows towards one another. That'll create a little more stability in the base. Stay here. Bring one knee, maybe two knees under the backs of the arms. And then option to stay here. Lift one leg or two legs. Come up. A little more advanced. Play with the shape of your tripod, right? And then you're going to come up. About 10 breaths maximum here. It's a little more intense on the neck, the tripod. So I like to, when we come down, place one fist on top of the other. Gives your neck a little more room to kind of rock from side to side here. Bring your forehead on top of the fist that you've created. Give your neck a little massage that way. And then come into child's pose. Take a few breaths here. And again, think of just letting go of all of your own thoughts, own vision, and opening it up to more of the bigger consciousness that's right out there in front of you. Right? And what happens in yoga, especially meditation, is you begin to remember so many moments of enlightenment where you were free of the small self, where you were filled with love, where you're able to get a little glimpse of that divine vision of what was right in front of you, around you, and other people. It's very powerful. Mini samadhis, right? It's promised for us in this practice. We will see them many times in this lifetime. And if you're not conscious enough, you won't realize it's happening unless you've practiced to be aware for it, right? You have had a meditation practice to expand your mind. All right, from here, we're going to come to downward facing dog. Shake the head out here, flip the lips. On your next inhale, you're going to step your right foot forward. You're going to bring your left heel down. You're going to place the top of the foot on the floor and bring both hands onto the right knee. You might want to slide the knee a little bit further apart so you get a little bit more of a stretch in the front of the leg here. And then you want to straighten the arms, come to a little bit of a back bend. Try to bring the knee over the ankle. An option to stay here, or you could hook the thumbs and bring the hands forward and overhead, coming into a little bit deeper of a back bend. Keep the emphasis on bending the front knee, bringing some experience in the front of the left leg, the upper thigh, and then look for your steady gaze. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Exhale, come up. You can place your hands down. We're going to step back, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or go through the vinyasa one time on your own. Link breath and movement. And then we'll try the other side. On your next inhale, you're going to step your left foot forward. Release your right knee to the floor. And then place both hands on the left knee. Again, you might want to bring the right knee a little bit further apart to get more of a stretch in the front of that quad there. And then straighten the arms, come into your back bend. Stay here, or you hook the thumbs, bring the hands forward and overhead, come into your back bend. breath here. Exhale, come up, and you're going to step the left foot back, coming into your downward facing dog. All that was a preparation for our Hanumanasana. I have Hanuman here on my altar here. He's a pretty rad dude. He's all about devotion and service. He's only thinking of the highest. That's all he is thinking about. His actions are only based on love and compassion. So that's a good example for us. On inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale a breath here. Inhale, step the right foot forward. You're going to come onto the heel and you're going to slide it through. Right? A couple of options for Hanumanasana. So first one is you could just keep the knee on the floor. Try to straighten the front leg. If you want to tuck the back toes under, treat it as a lunge. You could do that. I like to use blocks here so I can lift my chest. Right? If you want to bring the hands in prayer and lift the prayer up, that's always an option as well. Remember that quality of the mudra in the prayer, the hands pressed together. Help me be of service. Help me practice love and service today. Help me get out of my small, ego-centered self. Help me think of your will and not mine. All right, from here, you're just going to switch sides. You're going to gracefully step back. Sometimes difficult in that pose. You're going to inhale the left leg up. Exhale a breath here. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Come onto the heel. Slide it through. Then again, same options. Keep the back knee on the floor. Tuck the toes under. I've even seen people put a prop underneath the leg there. It seems to be helpful for them. Again, I like to bring the blocks on the other side of my hips so I can really lift the chest. Find that devotional quality. If you want to bring the hands to prayer, lift it up. Think of that higher consciousness, that higher self, love and care, the things that are going to help deliver us from that mundane place, that thinking of only of I, me, and mine, right? How can I better serve those who are in front of me? How can I be more able to hear them and listen to them and see what's in common instead of what's different? And exhale, place your hands down. Again, gracefully step back. Downward facing dog. Very good, everyone. Options stay here. Go through the vinyasa on your own, like breath and movement. All right, from here, we're going to bend the knees, look forward. We're going to step, walk, or jump through. Come to sit down. We're going to set up for a forward seated bend. Do some of our forward bending now. You know, and the forward bending is important. It's about letting go of the past. Could be yesterday. Could be a week ago. Could be when we were children. Whatever it is. You know, it gives us the ability to be more present in the moment so we can get out of that small self that's sometimes bound, right? So come onto the front of your sit bones. Think of what you want to use here. If you want to use a prop, you could use a prop, right? I'm going to use my towel today. You inhale a breath. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Take hold of the outer edges of the feet. Take hold of shins. I'm going to use my towel today. And then breathe here. Inhale. On your next inhale, you're going to come up. From here, we're going to come into bound cobbler's pose. You're going to bring your knees into your chest. You're going to release your knees out to the side. You're going to take your thumbs to the insides of your feet. Try not to bring the shoulders up. Try to relax shoulders. Keep the chest open. Inhale, lift the heart as you open the feet up. Exhale, begin to fold forward. And wherever you land, make that your steady, joyful place, right? Don't feel like you need something else. You need to be more flexible. You need to be stronger. Let go of all that. Just be here now, breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes when I'm super critical of myself, I'll say this prayer that my grandmother taught me. She said, you say to God, God, let me love and accept myself the way you already do. I always find it so comforting. Takes the pressure off. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come up. From here, you're going to keep the knees bent, keep the feet flexed. Just separate your feet about mat distance apart. We're going to take a little twist here. You're going to bring your left arm underneath the left knee out to the side. You're going to take your right arm up, look over the right shoulder, take a twist. If you want to bind the pose, drop your right arm behind, catch hold of something here. Keep the feet flexed as a way to anchor the spine to lift. On the exhale, take your twist. Inhale, come center. Take hold of the ankles, kind of reset the spine, then right arm out to the right side. Take a twist, look over the left shoulder. You can either stay here, bind the pose, drop the left arm behind, catch hold of something here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist for one. Then come center again. Take hold of the ankles. Now we're going to move into our blossoming lotus sequence. Very beautiful. You're going to keep the feet flexed. You're going to lift the feet off the floor with the knees bent. Take your arms underneath the knees and bring your heels together. I like to take another mudra with the hand here, chin mudra. It's the ego, centered self, the pointer finger. And you bow it into the thumb, the highest self, and then lift the chest. The knees where they are. Take your arms out from underneath you. Grab hold of the big toes, the first two fingers of either hand. And exhale, begin to open the legs, lift the chest. Blossoming lotus. If that radiant, holy, spiritual being that you are is now evident, and it then gives you the vision to begin to see the others in front of you in the same way. That they are worthy of your patience, your love, your compassion. They don't need your punishment or your anger or your smaller self kind of getting in the way. Okay, from here you're going to bring your feet together. You're going to bring your knees together. You can just sit up a little bit taller and move from a little bit from side to side. And we have to get back to our downward facing dog. So we're going to do Ashtanga style jump back. You're going to bring your hands on either side of your hips. You're going to bend the knees, cross the ankle. You're going to have to inhale, lift up, and then shoot the legs back. It takes a lot of mula bandha, right? So inhale, lift up. Exhale, shoot the legs back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Shake the head out, flubber the lips. On your next inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra, and we'll hold here. So tops of the feet are pressing down so much kneecaps lift up. You're then moving into the navel. You can keep fingertips in line with the lower ribs or lift the hands off the floor an inch. Breathing here. One more breath. And then exhale, release down. Adjust yourself on the mat if you need to. Turn your face to one side. And relax and let go here. Remember that back bending that we're getting into now, it's about letting go of the future. Any fear, any worry, any doubt. Just being in the moment. All right, forehead down, Shalabhasana next. On inhale, lift your head, chest, straight legs off the floor. Come up. Relax, turn your face to the opposite side. And just take a moment here, pausing in action. breathing in the body, being a witness to the mind, letting the chitta vrittis do whatever they do, and you just watch. Forehead down, bend your knees, grab hold of the outside of either ankle, Dhanurasana, bow pose. On the inhale, you're going to lift your head, chest, legs off the floor. Come up. Steady gaze. Equal breath. Inhale a little bit higher. Exhale, release down. Turn your face to the opposite side. Again, just relax and let go. Forehead down, bend your knees. Take hold of the outside or inside of the ankles. On inhale, lift your head, chest, knees off the floor. Come up. Inhale, fifth breath, come up a little bit higher. Exhale, release down. Turn your face to the opposite side. Take a few breaths here. Rock hips from side to side if you like. And then turning over onto your back. We're set up for half wheel pose. That's amazing. 15 more minutes in class is so great. Not in a rush. All right, so half wheel on your own. Or no, we're all going to come to half wheel. You can do the supported half wheel. So feet are in close, hips apart and parallel. On inhale, lift your lower, middle, upper back off the floor. If you use the block, take it the long side down, place it underneath the sacrum. Or interlace your hand underneath you, draw the arms long. Again, trying to find a pose where the mind isn't so busy, where we can begin to think about breathing more than anything else, right? Slow the thoughts down. That's where we let the consciousness come in. That's where that enlightened moment could be realized. Those are really important to notice right now, right? So much for the mind to get caught in right now. So important to show up for the practice, important to do your meditation, your asana, your mantra recitation. If you're in half wheel, come down. Supported wheel, you can stay there or come down. Take a breath here. All right, so let's bring our hands to prayer in front of our heart. I'm going to again think of Stacy in New York City. I want her to be happy. I want her to experience some enlightenment, some joy, some quiet. Half wheel on your own. Full wheel, hands alongside the ears, underneath the shoulders. Pushing into your hands and feet. If you want, come to the top of the head first. You can stay here or come all the way up. Five breaths. Come down. It's such a gift when you can think of others. You get outside of your small self, not so worried about yourself, but more concerned with others. It's a practice. All right, half wheel on your own. Full wheel, hands alongside the ears, underneath the shoulders. Pushing into your hands and feet, come to the top of the head, or come all the way up. 5 breaths. breath here. Maybe the last one's the most difficult one. Make this one the most beautiful one that you're offering up to. I'm going to offer it up to Stacy and to Jim. Half wheel on your own, full wheel hands alongside the ears, underneath the shoulders. Push into your hands and feet. Come up. 5 to 8 breaths here. Once you've completed them, draw your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze in. You could rock little circles in one direction on the lower spine. And one of the things that happened in my family growing up, let's take a twist here. Bring your knees high in towards the chest. Bring your knees over to the left side. Bring your gaze over to the right side. So what happened in my family, because my mother and father got divorced when I was 3, and I'm not judging my mom, I'm just kind of saying what happened. She would just tell us all this really bad stuff about my dad and his family. You know, she wasn't giving us an opportunity to see them in the light of our own experience. And instead she kind of got her chitta vrittis going in this kind of downward way. And as I became a man and grew up, I realized when I had children, I didn't want to have that teaching for them. I didn't want them to have a view of my mother. You know, I wanted them to have their own experience of her. Same with my father. And it's proven to be very valuable. You know, they all were able to have a relationship with my mother, and now the children have had a really amazing relationship with my father that continues. And their stepmom, Stacy. So, see others in a divine light, even if you've had bad experiences with them. You know, say something nice or don't say something at all. Or say no, don't say anything at all. How's it go? Bring your right knees over. Your knees over to the right side. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say something. Don't say anything at all. That sure feels good. Bring your knees center. From here, we're going to rock the length of the spine. Come up to a seated position. We'll take a second forward seated bend, Paschimottanasana. Come onto the front of your sit bones. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Take hold of something here. Be mindful with the breath. Be conscious with the breathing. Make it a long inhale and exhale. Your next inhale, come up. From here, we're going to set up for a shoulder stand. If you want to just bring your seat close to a wall and swing the legs up the wall or over the edge of the sofa, like I have here, you could do that. Or set up for your shoulder stand, set up padding. If you use padding, if you're not sure what that means, I'm just going to show you. You would take a corner to corner fold, nice flat blanket. You bring the sticky mat over that edge so that you have a nice place for your shoulders to lie down. You want about 1 inch from your shoulders to the top of the mat, so there's a lot of space underneath my neck. So when I come up, I feel a lot of support to not put pressure. If you don't need a blanket, you don't use one, right? I don't need a blanket. I'm not going to use one. The muscles in my shoulders keep my neck lifted enough. So, all right. So we're going to come through Halasana. You're going to place your hands on your back. You're going to lift up. Now you want to make sure there's some space around the throat here, right? Shouldn't be any discomfort in the neck at all here. Keep established with flat hands. Just going to lift the legs high. Choose your gaze place. Continue with your breath. Now, if you're new and you struggle with this pose, I promise you, if you put the work in, you continually show up for this pose, you're going to actually begin to enjoy it. Can you believe that? Actually look forward to it. Appreciate it when you're in it. And open up to kind of a bigger view of what you can and cannot do. And that applies in the world, right? That compassion, that love. You have more to give than you know. Your ability to see others as holy beings. You have more of a vision than you could even think of. It's waiting for you. It's in all of the yoga scriptures, all the stories. Thinking of autobiography of a yogi. There's a lot of great description in that book of enlightenment. Enlightenment is for you too. Don't be shy. Let's inhale a breath here. Exhale, begin to lower your feet overhead into Halasana. If your feet don't reach the floor, just keep your hands on your back, knees towards your forehead. If your feet do reach the floor, interlace your hands, draw your arms long in one direction as you push the heels in the opposite direction. Release your hands, keep your head on the floor, arms pressing down, gently roll all the way onto your back. And then we're going to set up for fish pose. So come off of the wall or couch, come lie on your mat, give yourself enough space to come into your Matsyasana. Bring the arms close alongside the body. Pushing into your forearms and elbows, lift the top of the head off the floor. Open the throat, bring the top of the head back to floor. An option to stay here, bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. On inhale, lift legs up, extend the prayer towards the toes. Remember the devotional prayer, right? The mudra. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, release down, lift the head up. Release the neck back. And then set up for your final relaxation, Shavasana. We'll do a little yoga nidra today, okay? So find your comfortable place. Prop the knees up with a blanket rolled up underneath. Actually sounds really good. And if you want to cover the eyes with anything, bring a little darkness or pull a shade. Whatever you need to do. And then just close the eyes and just listen to my instruction. So we're going to start with big toes. Big toes relax. My big toes are relaxing. They're settling down. The tops of my feet are relaxed. The inner arches of my feet are relaxed. My heels and ankles are relaxing. My feet are completely relaxed, resting down into the earth. My shins are relaxing. The calf muscles are relaxing. Moving up into the knees, the backs of the knees, the sides of the knees, the front of the knees. Feel supported to relax and to let go. My toes, my feet, my ankles, my shins, my calves, my knees are completely relaxed and letting go. Moving above the knee to the thighs, the front of my thighs, the backs of my thighs, the quadriceps are relaxing. As we move into the hips, the top of that hip bone in the socket of the pelvis is relaxing. So the top of my leg, the middle of my leg, the bottom of my leg to my feet are relaxing and letting go, supported by the earth beneath me. comfortable, easy. Moving into the hips, the front of the hips, the girdle, the lower back, the sacrum is supported to relax and let go. My navel center is soft and relaxed. This place of action, Manipura chakra, is taking a break to relax and let go. We move up through the tract of digestion, through the intestine, to the rib cage. We feel as though there's nothing to hold on to, nothing to force, nothing to clinch. Just relax, let go. Think of the sit bones. Allow them to relax into the ground. Moving up to the lower back. Soft, supported, relaxed, and letting go. Moving to the middle back, into the upper back, to the shoulder blades, feeling supported to relax and to let go. Moving up into the rib cage at the front of the body, to the chest, to the sacrum, to the collarbone. Just allowing myself here to relax, be easy, and let go. As my shoulders rest down and relax, I feel the biceps and the triceps releasing and letting go. I feel the elbows and the forearms. I feel the wrists and the hands to the fingertips. Everything is relaxing and letting go. No rush, no place to be, except here right now, relaxing and letting go. Moving on to my throat, to my neck, to the lower part of the back of my skull. It's just relaxing, effortless, releasing and letting go. Moving into my jaw, into the front part of my face, around the nose, the eye sockets, the forehead. Everything is relaxed, very easy. The ears are relaxing. The back of the skull, the top of the head is relaxed and letting go. From the top of my head, all the way down to the tips of my toes, my entire body is relaxing and letting go. The important thing to remember about our physical body is, as Hatha yogis, we see it as a vehicle to the spiritual experience. So it's important that we understand it and maintain it. From here, we're going to begin to lengthen our next inhale. Begin to move your fingers and toes, bringing consciousness back into your body. Draw the arms long overhead. Take a long stretch from fingers to toes. And you're going to draw your knees into your chest. You're going to roll to one side. Pause here for a moment. And then when you're ready, you're going to come up to a seated position. We're going to finish class on time. One of the things as a chef, right? Everything's time-oriented in the kitchen. Things have to be on time, so it's lent myself good to keeping class on time. So just take a moment, before you think anything, just what does it feel like right now? What did your yoga practice bring to you this morning? Do you have a moment of enlightenment? Is there a moment of freedom, of peace? So important right now. So important in this world, which is just in crisis right now, that we have a moment to connect to that foundation of who we are. Then from there, we have strength to go forward and to help support others. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivarinam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamrita Swaha. Stacy. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivarinam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamrita Swaha. Om Bring our hands to prayer in front of our hearts. We give thanks to all of our teachers, especially the inner guiding teacher, the Sadguru, bowing forward. Om Bolo, Sadguru, Bhagavan Ki, Jai. Hari Om Tat Sat. Inhaling to come up. Nice to see all of you. You know, it was so great talking to Erica yesterday on the phone. If any of you want to communicate through social media, you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to have a phone call, let's set that up. I'd love to talk to you. Really important that we communicate with each other right now. And if it's just coming to class, that is enough. So I wish you well. I wish you some love and compassion in your action today. And 20 minutes meditation. Again, if you want to support Nandi, go to their webpage and you can set up a class pass, a monthly pass. If you are not able to afford it right now, just come and take the classes for free right now. So we're really doing amazing as a community. I'm so proud of us. Thank you to Andrew and to Wendy as always, and I'll see you real soon. Namaste.